Like if you're ahead, I guess you want to know like what day it's due.
Yeah, yeah.
I see, I see.
Well, is this week 4 or 5?
Hey,
Good morning.
good
Hey, good
morning.
Professor.
Yeah, this is week 5. Next week
Week
is
5. Okay, good.
midterm,
Awesome.
right? And the week after that, we will start talking about objects. Okay. Until now, it's just C programming.
Awesome.
No, sorry, you were saying something. Someone said something. I wasn't looking. Sorry.
No, yeah, we were just talking about like the quest due dates since I wasn't sure if it was week 4 or 5, so that makes sense.
Hey, yeah. Basically, Mondays, okay? Mondays. But the thing to keep in mind here, and I think I made this clear to my 2B students yesterday, is that if you've been working on a quest, right? If you've been working on quests at all, okay, and putting in a decent effort, free states, you can assume that free states are don't apply very hard to you. Does that make sense? Okay.
Yeah, it makes sense.
So so the free states are there to prevent people, coasting and just jumping in at the last minute and saying, I'm going to give it a shot, one day of work, and if it doesn't work, ask for an extension. No. So those people are out of luck. Yeah. So I can look at the logs, right? I mean, so I look at any time. In fact, it doesn't even matter. Even if I'm sitting on a bench by the lake, I get notifications on my phone when someone's completed a quest, and I can look at some details. If nothing else interesting is happening, I can just look at what's going on. And so I'm, within a few minutes of you doing anything, I get notified most of the time if it's interesting, right? So sometimes I let it pile up for a while and then look at it afterwards, but most of the time I can take a look at it. And that's why if I see that someone is actually working and trying to learn with the intent of making it all the way through, right? Not just picking up a piece of paper, but with the intent of making it all the way through, I have absolutely no problems going out of my way to teach them, give them extensions, and so on. All right, all of the things, all of the hard and fast rules apparently that I put in the syllabus are really there just for a purpose to prevent abusers from because you got to have some legalese, and otherwise you guys are at risk, right? Because some student could come in and basically monopolize your time and say, and so. Yeah, so and I wouldn't be able to do my job efficiently. You wouldn't be able to learn efficiently just because of a couple of students who may have been, spoiled or entitled and come in with expectations.
Professor?
Yeah.
For the
who is this? Giovanni?
Huh?
Is this Giovanni or who is this?
Oh, this is Sean.
Sean. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was looking at this side of the screen. Sorry.
For the quest, the trophies, is there like a max? Is there somewhere you can see where the
max?
maximum...
People are. I think people are. I've been talking about a max for various quests for a long time, and I think there's a whole bunch of people who've made tables and posted them on Reddit saying this is the max I've got.
Okay.
So I'm a whole bunch of tables like that. I don't know, right?
Yeah,
I used to.
I don't know if like the trophies that I got are like little.
I actually don't know, right? I mean, I could go and check. But in fact, honestly, to find out, I have to submit my own reference solution and count up the trophies now. So I don't know. That is the answer to your question.
Okay. And are like the trophies, are they correlated in any way to like the grade you get for the quest, or not really?
No. I told you, right? So the points are not per quest, right? It's your total. The total you've reached. So essentially, what we've got in C++. In all of my classes is basically a scale of increasing peaks of increasing heights that you have to scale, right? So you cannot scale a higher peak before having scaled a lower peak. I think that goes. It's I guess it's one of those things that we have to take for as a given. So I can pretty much use the highest quest you've completed and the points you've got there as a very good proxy for your ability to practically apply everything you've learned up to that week. Yeah, so that's how I use the quest to determine the grade. But I was telling my 2D students yesterday that I'm thinking from next quarter onwards to basically block the use of Reddit, past Reddit posts, right? For all of my students, 2A, 2B, and 2C, meaning that you're not allowed to look at anything, Stack Overflow, Google. Well, you can look at Google for concept, I guess, but you're not allowed, or even Stack Overflow for concepts. But Reddit, it's hard to look for concepts because most of the people are, you find only 1% or 2% of the total contributors are talking about concepts and ideas, right? Most people are talking about specific problems and how to solve these mini quests. Yes. So, I think that we have to disallow somehow in the syllabus. I think I don't know if I can enforce it. I can't enforce any of this really, but I told them that past Reddit posts are off limits. The only thing you can use Reddit for is to converse with your current classmates. Yeah. So you have to assume that the solution to this is not there in the past subreddit, because if you think about it, the past Reddit is, the past posts here, they don't have to exist really. They just make it easier for you. If you want the answer, you can get it anywhere. You can go ask your friends, your relatives, ask someone in your family who's all clued up in computer science. You can get the answer. Yes, you don't need any of this shit. So therefore, I think that you can have. So the solutions are out there, and so what do you get? If you look at the past post and then do it, you're not going to get any learning out of it. You're just going to get the solution. And so it defeats the whole purpose of what I'm trying to do, is to not give you answers, right? So I think that is what I wanted to try. This whole experiment with my teaching this style is to basically see if well, it is to prove really, not even to see, because I know, right? That's how I learned, right? So I know it's possible. Anyone can do it. I know that, so is to prove that you can learn without being given the answers, right? Because I think the job of a teacher is not to give you answers, is to basically show you how to find the answer, because you know how to do it yourself, right? I'm not going to stick around with you all your life. I got to show you how to do it and then get the hell out of here, right? Because I got a lot of stuff to do. Yes. So that's what every teacher is thinking. And so they don't want to hang around. Even your parents, everybody, right? Everybody around you, they just want you to be happy and self-sufficient, so that they can just enjoy you instead of having to nurture you, right? Because everybody wants to enjoy you, not nurture you, right? Even if people who nurture you want to enjoy you at some point, and that's why they nurture you. So I think it is. I think it'll be great if everyone can just understand that nobody needs nurturing, and they have it in them to succeed. They have it in them to find everything they want, and then a teacher can just show them. And so the question, unfortunately, with past answers, this is the first quarter. It was beautiful, right? Because no answers. All the quests were new, and then everybody. Where they were all, go to the very beginning of the colors in the Reddit, and you'll see, students just like you, right? So you can't say, wow, they're giants and they're brilliant people, in the past, and they solved all the quests by themselves without any help. No, they're just like you. The only difference is that they didn't have anything to fall back on. You guys have things to fall back on. And human nature is that we always were lazy and we'll take the easy path. Yes? If there are two paths to a goal, we'll take the easy path, right? In fact, in cs2c, you're going to have to do a quest that says, here is a massive graph, right? Thousands of nodes. You want to go from here to here, right? There's so many different ways, but find the easiest way, right? So that is exactly what Google Maps and all these guys do, right? So you say, I want to go to San Francisco, and here's the map of the city. What's the best way to get there? Yes? How many times have we done navigation? And you're going to implement that in cs2c yourself, in C++. So that is human nature too. And so we have to be conscious and say, I'm even though there's an easy path, I'm not going to take it, right? Because what are the chances I'm going to get an easy path every single time? This time I have an easy path. So if I take the easy path now, when I have the teacher, my parents, a whole lot of people around me taking care of me now, yes, just correct me anytime I'm wrong, okay? right now, for most of you, you have a lot of people taking care of you. You can afford to be wrong. Yes. Okay. So so you want to say yeah. So you want to say, you know, if I'm going to take the hard path, I should take it because, you know, chances are I could lose all of those things, right? I could lose my parents. I could lose all my well-wishers. I could be all alone. So if I can take care of myself when I'm all alone, then I can take care of myself anywhere, right? It's just like this, right? People who are happy by themselves can be happy with other people too, right? So most of the time, people who are unhappy with others are not also unhappy with themselves. So you got to find out why they're unhappy, and then they'll be happy with other people too, right? So that is essentially this the way this works too. And so once you know how to take care of yourself in the worst possible situation, then you can take care of yourself in any damn situation, right? So and then so where was I going with that? So the way to do this is basically to you know, do the hard thing now when you can afford to fail, right? Later on, you won't have the luxury. Right? Later on, you won't have the luxury of failing and not suffering a loss due to that. Because many times in the future, you may find that, you know, oh, you know, I got to do this and I better not fail because I got a lot riding on this. Yes. So now, you know, there's not a lot. You don't know, right? Many people don't know. You don't have a lot riding on many of these things, right? There are lots of people who will take care that the worst things don't happen to you. So take chances. Don't just, you know, do stupid things. And where I'm going with that is that so there are these easy paths for every single problem in questing and so on. Please pretend, right? And pass this message on in Discord and Slack and any other channel you guys use, right? Even on Reddit. Only use the Reddit forums to talk to your current classmates, okay? Don't use it to look at past posts, the solutions to quests. After you solve a quest, okay? That is the time. After you solve the quest, you're finished. You know, talking to your classmates and you finished. That is when I think it would make sense to say, now I've earned an entry pass, right? Because, you know, going to the past is like going to Disneyland or, you know, the place where people, successful people live. But you're not successful yet. You can go there. Yes. So think of it as, you know, past Reddit is for successful people only, right? So solve it first without looking at the past. Ask your classmates, ask your tutors, right? Try to do it, right? And then after you solve it, you say, I'm going to go. Now I can go and see what other people have done, right? The problems they've faced. And then I can converse with them and, or, you know, make posts there. And also make current posts saying, hey, you know what, I've done it now and I'm making a post. And those are the kinds of things. So let me know if you have any ideas how we can prevent the use of past subreddit posts, okay? Nobody is, so that's why I like, so when I saw Ashwat's question and, you know, Ali sometimes posted these questions, I know there's 100 other answers in the past Reddit posts. You just have to quick search and you'll get the answer. But, you know, I'm glad to see these posts because it shows that, you know, you're just not magically solving these problems. Who knows? You just look it up on the internet or in the past and find the answer. I don't know if you actually found it or even tried it. Maybe you just got the solution, right? You can actually buy many of the quest solutions now. And so how do I know if you just bought the solution or coded it yourself? You didn't have any evidence of struggling with the problem, asking questions and saying where you're stuck and so on, especially when, you know, the instructor or the professor can follow your every move, right? And I can actually see and say, and I know this person is actually struggling hard, right? They've been stuck at this issue for a long time and they're not giving up. And so perseverance is really what takes you through to the last mile, especially in computer science, because you are going to get frustrated so many times when you're programming. Any field, even I know, you know, if you go to ceramics and learn, you know, to sit at the wheel with Andy, right? And the first 1,000 parts you make are going to be very frustrating. You don't get it centered and there's so much frustration and you got to do this and then, you know, mash it up again and you got to wait for the clay to dry and, or wedge more. It is going to be frustrating. And, but if you watch these masters at work, they just do it effortlessly. And then you think, yeah, well, you know, it seems like a really cool thing to do. I got to do it too, right? And then, but when you do it, you say, you know, and then one time he said, I don't know, I was listening to him talk about his past. I think it was in Kentucky or somewhere, and he learned ceramics from an instructor And he said at night there was maybe I'm just imagining this, but he said there was a night, there was a ceramics, the studio was open at night or something, and he used to go and, through all night, or so thousands and thousands of pots he just made and crushed or something like that. And then I thought that's basically what everybody is doing in all kinds of fields. Yes, even in programming. And we're going to try and keep getting frustrated and breaking things, some breaking pots, right? Breaking. The trick is, when you get frustrated, the idea is not to find the solution. Many people mistake education as the process of delivering the solution to the student's mind. I think that education has dual purposes. One is to help you find the solution yourself, because you know it, or at least remember that you know it. But I think the more important part of education is to repeatedly frustrate you in order to inure you to the sensation. Because there are so many things. I've seen a lot of youngsters, okay, even my own kids, seeing a lot of people, they get frustrated too soon for simple things. But I know, and then I think that, how the hell are they going to handle the bigger frustrations in life if this little thing is just basically throwing them off balance so badly? And but the thing is, I think, the idea is that where educators have to make sure that these frustrations are felt by students many times without circumventing them. At the same time, making sure that they get frustrated, but they're not so frustrated as to kill themselves, or or do some bad addictive substance to take escape from it, or something like that, right? So we want to make sure that you are frustrated and don't escape from it, right? Essentially, we want to corner you into a prison and say, all right, for the next 24 hours, you're going to be frustrated, and there's no way out of here. All right, get in there and be frustrated, right? So so we want to make sure you're frustrated, and also make sure you don't die. All right, what kind of a horrible warden would do that, but essentially a warden who actually has your own best interest at heart, because they want you to know that the key to not being frustrated is basically not be frustrated. Right? And these simple things for which there's no point in being frustrated, because if many times you can try this experiment, right? Start with simple things first, and then maybe you can make it bigger and bigger, things that start slowly. And I think there is actually a very interesting experiment, not an experiment, very interesting meditative practice that is taught in India. I think the way it starts is that you just need to, all you need, and people mistake it, right? Because I knew the first time they taught it, but I knew that's what they're trying to teach. And it's basically just sitting down, and most commonly when you're sitting down, you'll start feeling itches on your face, like mosquitoes sitting on you, flies, so something like that. After about a half hour, right, or 10 minutes of just sitting down and not doing anything at all, you're going to feel some sensation on your body. Yes or no? Right? Most of the time we're not even aware of these sensations, because we instinctively go and scratch it, or or do something like that, and it's gone. Yes. We're not even mindful of these things. Just go. And so if we ask someone randomly, hey, do you feel a scratch here, right, in the last 10 minutes? They say, I don't know, I don't remember, because they just do unconscious things, right? And likewise, easy pats in life, we just take unconsciously. And subconsciously, not unconsciously, right? And we often forget that. So in this practice, they say, well, start with something small, like a sensation that appears on your, skin, or something like that. And this time, however, right, don't do anything about it, because their natural reaction is what? Natural reaction is to try and do something about it, right? And say, all right, okay, now I'm good. Yes, but it says, no, this time don't do it, right? Don't do it. However, see what the hell happens if you don't do it. Okay, so but I can guarantee it's not going to kill you, right? So so it's not going to kill you, because we have thousands and millions, uncountable number of people have done this before, right? And they've tried it and tested it. And so if you're guaranteed that try this, it's not going to kill you, but just try what's going to happen, right? And so you'll see that, okay, well, it comes, and then after about 5 minutes or so, I don't even remember. It was there, but I didn't do anything about it, and it's gone. right? Now, do I still get the same, satisfaction when I scratch it? No, it's gone. I don't even feel it, right? So, and then the thing is, the technique there that the instructor is trying to teach is that now try many of those, right? Try it all over your body, right? And start feeling these sensations, but don't do anything about it. Just feel it, right? So they're going to be, so initially they're going to be, slightly uncomfortable, right? But later on, in the more detail, once you get comfortable with that, right? It takes a few days to basically just comfortable with, feeling it and not doing anything about it, right? So the next stage is, all right, now let's take it to the next level and say, now you're actually, when you start sitting in the same pose without shifting at all, you're starting to get painful sensations, like muscular spasms, and and cramps and so on. So, but we have people that have gone through that too, and emerged on the other side. So why don't you give it a shot, and we can guarantee that you're not going to die. So give it a shot. So that is going to be slightly harder to go through, because how many times have we got a cramp in our feet or leg, and we try and change positions and do something about it, and we think we're going to lose an entire arm or leg? Say no, nothing's going to happen. Try it out, right? And so slowly and so on. But the idea here is not to get you inured to these things, but just to see that every one of these things is basically transient. Right, comes and goes. So 99% of the fires we put out in a life, we think we're putting it out, but honestly, if you think about it, most of the time, even if you don't do anything about it, it's going to go anyway, right? So it says don't waste your energy trying to put out fires that you don't have to. So just so I should be, this is we should be talking about. I think we should talk about computer science and C++. But basically, where I was going with that was that. Yeah, ask your current classmates, and yeah, I don't know where I was going with that. I'm sorry for the digression. You guys should just feel free to cut me off, okay? So, but yeah, transient, okay, transient. Don't yeah, but I think enough of blabbering like that. But I'm very eager to start coding, right? And in fact, if one of you can take the screen, what I would like to do is very quickly start coding to begin, right? Begin that project we're talking about. Do we need anything more? Let's say 4 arrays. All right, well, let's do, I'll partner with one of you, right? We'll just do a code, right? Just like we do before. Where's Keenan? Keenan's not here. Does anyone else have access to that coding rooms thing? Can someone pull it up? He didn't say anything else. Right.
Yeah, I have it.
Okay, so can you also, hey Sean, can you also add all these other people at some point? Well, you don't have to add it right now, add them right now. So if you're okay to code, or whoever wants to code, if you can set someone else who wants to set up someone else who wants to code.
Okay.
Someone else wants to code? Does anybody else want to code? Justin, do you want to code?
I don't know how to get to the coding room.
No, suppose Sean sets you up and sends you a link. Can you click that?
Are we using the one we used the other day? Because I didn't create that one, so I don't know if I can.
No, just create a brand new one. Just create a brand new one. Yeah. Let's just go from scratch, okay? So it's not going to take a long time. I think last time it took a long time because we were just talking through it. So this time I'll just dictate what needs to get typed, and then it's just a little bit, like 5 inches of code, right? And so we can.
Do you guys remember who created the coding room last time?
Okay, Keenan.
Keenan.
Yeah, he's not here. So well, you know what? Why don't you just go to online GDB or one of those places, and if Keenan or someone shows up, we can just copy and paste into that. Yeah, is that okay?
Yeah.
Who said? Yeah, I wasn't looking at the screen. Sorry.
Oh, Ali.
Oh, Ali. Okay, all right, cool. Someone take the screen and just go to one of those places, and then we'll start coding. And in fact, we don't even have to have all of them on in the same site. Everybody could be on their own, and then we could just screen share separately to say, hey, here's my package, here's my package, and so on. So we don't have to have. In fact, that would be better, because I think coding rooms was overloaded with many people hitting it at the same time. So hey, can you kill this? Who is this, by the way? Hey, who's sharing the screen? Who was sharing the screen before? Sorry.
It was me. It was me.
Hey, yeah. You just open up a private window, Sean.
Yeah, I was gonna, but I was just moving my computer.
Hey, I'm not going to
You
edit the video. I'm not going to edit that video. Do you have any? Did you have any personal stuff showing in that thing?
No?
You sure?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Okay, just send me email, okay? Because I'm not going to search through it because you had an email window or something pop up. Someone could just
Me?
pause the video at that point.
Oh,
Remember?
there was no email window.
I thought I saw a Chrome window flash past.
Oh, it was just the coding room window.
Okay, all right. Okay,
Yeah.
cool. Yeah, but make sure, but you had a lot of tabs, but make sure that,
Oh yeah, they're all school related.
okay, all right, cool. Just open up a private tab, a brand new one.
Uh-huh. Online GTP.
Whatever you want, okay?
Coding
It's just going to be you and me
room.
coding in this here, and then other people can just copy and paste from that URL or
Okay.
whatever it is that we
Okay.
managed to
Professor,
do. Yeah.
my
Hey,
internet is,
Zain, yeah, I got your email. Where's your camera not on?
yeah, I was about to say, because my internet is a bit choppy. I
Okay,
just
all right, no
moved.
worries. You just keep talking.
Yeah, I will.
And Kai, you too. Giovanni, did I hear you before?
Yeah, I'm here, Professor. My internet's also a little choppy right now.
Okay.
What did the email, what was the email about? Which one? Mine. You said you got my email about, I forget what I asked to email about.
No. I got your email saying you were going to be absent last class.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah, I watched the video.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. That's great. Thanks. And then Huan, Happy New Year. And hey, are you here? Are you here? Fernando, are you here? Fernando?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. You guys have to
Yes,
keep
I am.
talking. Yeah. Keep
Yes, I
talking.
am.
Keep talking. Hey, Sean, take the screen. Was it
Okay.
Sean? Take the screen. Let's start. Okay, let's start coding. We're at 8:30, and hopefully by 9 o'clock, I'll just wrap up what we're doing. Sean and I are doing, right? And that will be a model for everybody, and we can all do. You can each do your own thing, and then we can, screen share and. Okay. All right. Just clear the whole screen. Let's just clear the whole screen. Okay. All right. So now let's do the standard thing. Every one of us has to be comfortable with this. Is basically, yeah, exactly. All right. So and anybody who's not comfortable with what Sean is typing right now, just feel free to talk, okay, and ask, hey, what's going on? Because this is basically template boilerplate stuff that we're reeling off from memory. This is our basic starting point for any C++. In fact, if you have that, that's basically a functioning C++ program. Yeah. Okay. So that much we're basically we're going to have in our memory. Okay. All right. Also, Sean, if you don't mind, put a space before the curly brace so that we separate the main parentheses from. Okay. Good. Thank you very much. I like it like that. Okay. All right. Great. So here, what we're going to do is let's put a comment above main. Right. Let's put a comment above main. And say in this comment, let's say in this program we are going to, and we'll think about whether we're going to move this. In fact, you know what? Take that comment and put it right at the top because we'll just say what this program is going to do. Yeah, right at the top above. Yeah, there you go. So and you can say code for today's date. Yeah, put today's date on. What is today? It's for 1st of February. Wow, one month out already. Okay. Okay, 2-1. All right. So on the next line, you can say in this program, no, one more comment, right? On the next line, in this program, we're going to read 5 files from a directory. Given on the command line, right? And within parentheses, on the next line, break, because that's too long, right? There you go, enter. Thank you. All right, given on the command line, and within parentheses, say this is a new concept, okay? Watch previous videos if you want, okay? So, but not needed for cs2a, right? Also, let's make sure this is not needed for cs2a. You can go to the next line, I guess. That's fine. Yeah, I also feel a little queasy when I have an open parenthesis and I have to go to the next line. Yeah. All right. For needed for cs2a. All right. So we're going to read. And close the parenthesis. Great. In this program, we're going to read 5 files from a directory into 5 parallel 5 arrays, which will give us our. Do we have 5 nouns, verbs, adjectives, adverbs? nouns, verbs, adjectives, adverbs. Is that all? We only had 4, right? Do you have 5 or 4? Let's start
I'm
with
pretty
4.
sure we had 4.
Okay, let's say 4 into and then 4 files and 4 files, and then into 4 arrays, 4 vectors. Let's say vectors. Okay, vectors, and then put a colon there saying, and these are the names of the vectors, right? Nouns, verbs, adjectives, adverbs. Okay, we're going to read these 4. Yeah, and then on the next line, you can say, hey, you know what? Online GDB gives you this vertical column. You see the vertical column? I can see it even in this, little window. You see that vertical column on the right side? Adverbs. I think that's 80 columns. I think that's so. If when our comment rolls over beyond that, or when it gets to the vertical line, you can always hit enter. Yeah, I didn't see that before. There, do you see that? You just crossed over that vertical line. Or am I the only one? I can see it. Yeah, I can see it.
No, I can see it too. It's like a lighter gray than the rest.
It's a light gray vertical line. I've seen that line in some IDEs like Eclipse and Xcode. You actually have to explicitly enable that line. I don't know how VS Code does it, but it's a very useful line to have, because despite us having these big, wide monitors, still I know that programmers, many programmers, I shouldn't say all programmers, many programmers prefer to have their code, even in a 4K monitor, in 80 column format, many code windows, right? So you have like 10 code windows in a 4K monitor, right? But each one of the code windows only has programs that are 80 columns wide. Yeah, so I haven't seen any professional programmers actually have seen them looking at code in which they had a comment that spanned about 300 columns or something like that. So that's very interesting, right? So maybe says something about how our visual apparatus in psychology works. Okay, all right, good. There you go. Into 4, and then on the next line, on line 5, say stitch together a sentence from random selections of these components and print it out. Is that comment self-explanatory enough for what we're planning to do today? Yeah.
Wait, stitch together a sentence from
these 4 components, from these four components, and print it out. Yeah, print it out, right? So each time you invoke it, let's say it'll print one sentence. And I think previously one of the 2A students, the last quarter when we tried it, that student actually, his name is Turkey, right? He's in my 2B now. He wrote it when I was talking, but we didn't get to the end of it, right? I think maybe, I don't know if we got to the end of it, or maybe it wasn't Turkey or someone else. They said, this program should be called Lucky, right? So lucky sentence generator. So every time you say lucky, it'll just give you a lucky sentence like an 8-ball, right? A random sentence and from the Harry Potter universe, or a random sentence from the Star Wars universe. So so if you don't have a theme, we'll use Harry Potter. So that's it. So that's and then put a blank line after that so that our IO stream and the rest of it, great. Okay. So is that comment self-contained enough for most people, right? If you didn't have the context of the class, you know what this program is doing. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so what I would like to, where I could use your help, any of you, is if you can tell me whether you can follow what Sean is typing if you didn't listen to me, right? Otherwise, in other words, if you had me muted. So what we're trying to do is that whatever Sean is typing should be self-contained enough for someone who's just watching the video without listening to, right? Because they should be able to fast forward and things like that. So if you think of things that could be added here, please tell Sean, right? Can you put that there? Some comment, right? Thank you very much. Okay, great. All right, okay. So now there's a big picture. It's very important to have the big picture before we go to the small picture, I think, right? Many people prefer to go from bottom up, but I prefer to go top down, even in software design. The big picture is always important, right? Because once you have the big picture, there are many different small pictures, right? But if you have a lot of small pictures, it's very hard. So all right. So in our main, just close the main and put a return at the end, right? That we also need that. Put a return 0, close it. Yeah. So return 0. right? Yeah, and close it. Right, that's our self-contained program. So let's now go above main and do our fill-ups, right? Do our fill-ups. Now, today's Tuesday, and we're supposed to start talking about functions, okay? So what I'll try and do is just introduce that one concept along with what we're trying to do. The idea just occurred to me, so I hope we don't botch it up. So what we're going to try and do is introduce the concept of functions and the way in which parameters are being passed to these functions. And we'll talk about this on the way, all right? So here, in our main, we're going to say, in our main, we're going to declare 5 vectors, okay? So let's just say 5 vectors, yeah, inside of main, and yeah, there you go. I will do the command line parameters later, sorry. Thank you, Sean. You put the cursor in the right place, but yes, we'll come to that later, okay? So in there, in main, you say, what is it? A string, a space. Oh, actually, no, not string, it's vector, and then angle bracket, vector, angle bracket. Yeah, do I see this? Yeah, there's yeah, angle bracket, string, space, nouns. I think this is what we did last class too. Yes, maybe did we use native arrays last class? No. Yes, we used vectors.
I have a quick question.
Yes, Noah. Yes.
Are strings like considered like primitives, or are they kind of like objects without pointers, kind of like Java, or what's the thing there?
Right, very good question. Yeah, I'm pleased Noah asked that question. No, string is not a native type. It looks like a native type, right? And in fact, many people think they're native types because JavaScript, Python, right? People just throw strings around. No, strings is actually there is no such thing as a string in C++. Okay, the string is actually something that someone created and put in there, and it's been used by C++ programmers since day one. That's why we think that C++ has string in it, right? No, it's just packaged with, it's a complex object, and inside of that object there is what is called the native string, of the real string. No matter what language, whether it's C++, Java, Python, JavaScript, doesn't matter, right? If you come to the bare metal and say, what is a string? The string, any string, is basically just a sequence of ASCII values in memory in contiguous locations. That's all. So if I have the string hello, H-E-L-L-O. Now H, I think, is A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. That's 8, 65 plus 8 is 73. Okay, so all right. So H is ASCII value 73. Right, and 73 has some bitwise notation, right? So if you think back to data representation, 73 is what, 64 plus 9, so 64 plus 8 plus 1. Yes. All right, so we have a 64 is what, 2 to the 2 to the 5 is 32, so 2 to the 6, so 6 bits, so that's a 6th bit. So starting from the so 2 of the 0 bits, so 0 0, and then 1 for the 64, and then all zeros, and then all the way up to 8, that's 2 to the 3. The 3 bit is on, and then the 1 bit is on, and that is 73. Yes or no? We actually worked all the way back from the letter H to how it is stored in memory in terms of individual switches that'll be on or off. Yes or no? And this is actually a very important thing to ponder, right? I'm not going to say no to know in our minds, but really to ponder. Because in every language, we have these strings that Noah brought up, right? Is like, do you have pointers in there? And in fact, a string is a complex class that not only has a pointer to where that array begins in memory, but in C, in the language C, which is so close to assembler, a string is basically just an array of characters. Nothing else to it. No frills, nothing fancy, just an array of characters. How beautiful is that? So then, anything you want to do to the array of characters, like I want to know how long it is. I want to know how many characters, how many vowels. Anything you want to know is basically going to be, I have an array of characters. Here is a function. Here, tell me something about it.
So is the string just a pointer, or is the string actually?
No, it's a complex object. It has a pointer inside of it. But
Okay,
it does
so-
a lot of things. Yeah, it does a lot more than just store the pointer. It stores the length. It stores so that it doesn't have to calculate it each time. It'll just tell you how long it is. It stores many other things about the string. Does that answer your question, Noah?
Yeah, it does. Thank you.
Yeah, and so that's why it's and again, we'll revisit this concept in week 11. Okay, I think in week 11 we have C style strings on the menu, and when we talk about C style strings, you already know what it is by then. Hopefully, right? So all right, now because we're using vector we're going to go all the way to the top under IO stream and say hash include vector also. And put a blank line after that, after hash include vector. Right, blank line. All right, now let's go back to our code. After nouns, we also need verbs, adjectives, and adverbs. No, on the same line, nouns, comma, verbs. Is everybody comfortable with this? I know some people are nodding their heads, but it's not enough for me, okay? Yeah, all right, Ashwath has a thumbs up, but I want everybody to be comfortable with this. Okay, Jennifer, Noah, Ali, I think Ali said yes.
Yeah, we're good.
Okay, and if Sean is going too fast or...
Yeah, we're good.
Thanks. All right. Okay, now let's do our, no, in fact, what we're going to do is, have we done this before? On the first line after main, right? Immediately after the brace, hit enter, enter, all right? Tell me if we haven't done this before. We're going to do the seeding of the random number generator. So what we're going to type is SRAND. I think we talked about this before, right? I think it is in a previous lecture. Open parentheses, and then say time, and then open parentheses again, and then say 0, uppercase L maybe. That looks better, right? And go to the very end and put a semicolon. And then further down, on the same line, open two comments. Further down, two comments. And say seed the random number generator, seed our random number, or whatever it is, the random number generator. And what we want to do is comment the whole line out for now, and we will just leave it as an experiment for you guys to find out what happens if it's commented out. Yeah, and put a comment above it saying, and comment it out, and put a comment above that line.
Wait, what?
Put
Comment
two forward slashes in front of the line.
in front of which one? Oh, this one.
Just before the S.
Oh, okay. I see.
Yeah, that is called commenting a line out. Means hiding the line from the compiler as though the line doesn't exist, right? And above that line, put a brand new comment. Put a brand new comment saying, experiment to find out what happens if you uncomment the following line of code.
Find out
what happens if you, right? What happens if you uncomment the following line of code?
If you
uncomment, it's called uncomment. It's the first time we're typing this word, I think, as a C++ programmer. Uncomment on the following line of code. The following fall, I think, line. I think that's fine. All right, so I'm just going to leave that and then put a blank line after the next line too, right? Yeah, not there, after the next line, after the strand line. Okay, great. Now, after that, and put a semicolon after adverbs. Put a semicolon after adverbs. Okay. Now here is a tricky bit that is to do with functions. Okay, it's going to do with functions, and we can talk about this later if you want. There's a bunch of videos too on our channel on YouTube, so don't worry. So you got a lot of stuff to watch here. So what we're going to do is say we're going to call a function that we are going to write, right? And Sean and I are going to write, and you're going to write more functions just like that. So we're going to say read underscore words underscore just say from underscore file. Yeah, right, open parentheses, and inside the parentheses we're going to give it two parameters, and the first parameter is going to be the name of the file. So we will say directory and the name. Yeah, I think we can do a plus operator here. String has a plus operator. I think so. Yes. Okay. All right. So so here we're going to say dir. Just bear with me for a sec, okay? In just 2 seconds, this will all become dir plus, and then within quotes, say within quotes, within quotes, say, oh, you know what? Don't say dir plus, just say dir, comma, and then say, within quotes, say, nouns.txt, And then on the third parameter, comma, is going to be nouns. Okay, semicolon. Now, don't move anything. Just hit triple click on the line, and don't do anything. Okay, triple click on the line. All right, is this a Mac or a PC? Hang on. It's a PC, right? No, it's a Mac.
No, it's neither. It's a Chromebook.
Oh, it's a Chromebook. How do you copy
Yeah.
and paste here?
Control C.
Okay, hit a Control C and then four Control Vs. No, you got to hit. No, you didn't hit a Control C. Triple click, and Control C. No, I think you didn't do the whole thing, but it doesn't matter. We need 4 of those. Yeah, Control C and then 4. No, don't. Okay, fine. One more. Oh, all right, that's fine. Change them to nouns, verbs, adjectives, adverbs. Is everybody okay with what we're doing here? This is most, when we see programs that are like, millions of lines long, programmers didn't actually physically write these millions of lines. Like more than 50% of those are just copies and pastes of either their own code from somewhere else, minor mods, or, someone else's code. All right. Now, in fact, what we'll do is go to line 19, hit enter. Line 19 and hit enter at the end. Yeah, and end of the line. No, just not at the end of the line. Hit enter. One more enter again. One more, and then we'll put a comment there. Right? We'll put a comment there and saying we will write a function called read words. Function called read words from file, which will on the next line. Read lines from the given file parameter 2 in parentheses, comma parameter 2.
Given file.
Comma. It's second parameter.
Oh.
It's
Wait,
no. It's yeah.
Second
parameter. Yeah. All right. In the given directory, the first parameter. Comma the first parameter. Into the given vector. That we got to fix. Okay. Into the given vector. Its third parameter. Passed in by reference. Okay, so there's a whole lot of magic hidden in the thing that we're going to do today. I'm very pleased that this is actually working out very nicely. Where not only are we going to complete our project, but we're going to touch upon so many salient things to do with functions and parameter passing that this whole week is supposed to be devoted to. So I'm very happy. I should use this as a model for next quarter too. Okay, its third parameter passed by reference. Okay, now change the verbs, nouns, and adjectives to the corresponding vectors. Okay, on the last parameter. Yeah, the last parameter on line 26 should be verbs. Yes or no? Others should also feel free to correct. Okay, I should not be the only one who should call him out. Hey, Kylie, are you sleepy? All right, okay. So, all right, okay. Yeah, you guys should just feel free to let me know, okay? If what I say is boring or it's all hum-ho to you, just let me know. Let's move on, okay? And we shouldn't be wasting too much time on these things. Is everybody okay with this so far? Now we're going to go ahead. One more thing before we go and write our function is basically going to go and find out what dir is. What is this magic thing called dir? So let's go to the top of main. Not top of main, under the vector line. Yeah, next line. Just say string dir. Okay. Now we're going to change the signature of main itself. This is the second way in which main can be invoked in the C++ programs. All right. So let's go to the line 14, and inside of the parentheses of main, we're going to type two things. I'm not going to go into the detail. There's like 100 different videos on this on the internet. We have talked about this ad nauseum, even in our, with examples, even on our non-illuminated channel, right? So you can look at past lectures. Say int space argc, comma, char, and then open, that's fine, argb, and then open close square brackets. Now it's got to be square brackets, okay? Now let's go under dir. In fact, we don't even have to go under dir before even go on line 18. In fact, go line 15 itself, right? Let's just go right at the beginning. As soon as we enter, we want to do a check right there. Again, branching statements, everything going to come in useful here. Enter a couple of times. We'll just create some. Yeah. All right. Go to the first line there, line 15. Here's what we're going to do. This is our test, a standard test. We're going to say if the count of arguments given to this program when it was invoked is equal to 0, then we print the usage and exit without doing anything. That's what we're going to do. So here, if okay, open parentheses, argc double equals 1, which means the program was invoked by just specifying its name. Only one. In C, the very nice thing to know is that when you call a program, the number of parameters that program gets is never 0. It's at least 1, and that 1 is the name of the program itself, right? And so argc is equal 1 means there is no parameter. There's only one parameter, and it's the name of the program. It wasn't given. You will find out very soon as we run it. So, and if argc equals 1, and then at the end open a brace, space and brace. Yeah. On the next line, you say CERR, which is a counterpart of cout. You can use cout if you want, but some of the IDEs will color CERR messages that you send to the console. The console, we use console out and console in. There's actually 3 pipes going through the console. One is console in, which is our keyboard. The other is console out going to a screen. Yet another one is console error, CERR, which we haven't talked about so far. It's another third secret stream that is actually separate from the output stream, and that also goes to the console, but the console knows, right? This is coming through standard output, and that is coming through some error stream. So anything that comes out of it, I have to color differently, or some alarm has, right? So we're going to CERR left shift. I'm sorry. Left shift means 2 less thans, right? No, it's right shift. No, yeah. All right. And then we're going to say open quote right there, and say usage colon slash n. No, it's got to be backslash n, right? And then semicolon and go to the next line. Or in fact, don't do a semicolon, just go to the next line. We'll just continue the same CERR statement. Yeah, okay, you can put it there. So you're going to say instead of the double, no, actually get rid of that whole thing, including the double quotes. You say arg v square bracket 0. That is the first argument. We'll find out what all of that is. Okay, 0 in there. Yeah, and then more shifting. And then open a quote, space, and then within and then you say name of directory in which data files can be found, right? And put hyphens. Yeah, all right, that's fine. I'll put the whole thing in square brackets or something, just to show people that it's one unit of thing, right? One. Yeah, just put a square bracket there, and then at the end too. Okay, data can be found, could be found. Yeah, a slash in there, or you can endl and then a new line. Yeah. No, that's it. And so you just say semicolon right there should do. Oh, you're gonna do an endl there? Then get rid of the new line. Yeah, just do a semicolon. And then you say exit 1, right? Exit, or you can say return 1. So in that case, a main is going to prematurely return to the operating system. It's not going to do the rest of the stuff. It's just going to return, and it's not going to return 0, which means no error. It's going to say return 1. There's some kind of error, right? So that's return 1. Okay, good. Now on the next line, no, after the brace. I'm sorry, after the brace. yeah, after the brace. So you can put a comment there saying you will only reach this line if the program was invoked with a command line parameter naming the directory, naming a correct directory, or naming a directory in which the files can be found.
If the what was invoked?
You'll only reach this line if the program was invoked correctly. If the program was invoked correctly. We're actually building a completely functional program. It's going to be very instructive to just follow this, and share this if you want with classmates who are not here.
I don't 100% get the REC.
We'll come back to this. We'll come back to this in a sec. Okay.
All right.
Hit and enter. All right. Now you're going to say string dir equals argv square bracket 1. That's it. All right. Now put a semicolon at the end and get rid of the string dir on line 28 because it's we already have created our variable. Right. Now at that point, what we're trying to do is that in fact what you can do is comment out line 33. You can actually run it right now. I'll show you what the hell is going to go on. Right. Comment out. In fact, comment out all of those. Right. Or comment out. Yeah. All of those. It should be a functioning program at this point. Right. And then under string dir. You can put a cout statement of something. So, yeah, cout. The program was invoked with parameters space, and then left shift argv of 0, and then and argv of 1. So you just know what the hell is going on, so we can run it and find out, right? Argv square bracket 0. And then left shift a space again, or and space, space, and then another left shift argv of 1, and then end line, and then slash end line, and that's it, right? So semicolon. We can actually compile it and run it, so you get an idea of what the hell is going on. This is actually a very instructive exercise to follow through all along because we're doing a bunch of really interesting things. We're doing a bunch of interesting things here. One of the things we are doing repeatedly is just stitching together a string on the cout line. Yes, this is something you're going to do millions and millions of lines at times as a programmer. You're going to be stitching together lots and lots of output. Many people will stitch together a string and then cout the string, or stitch together. So this is, and they have many different 100 different styles in which they do that line. But the important thing is to just get familiar with it and just develop your own style. Or just pick an existing style and run with it. This just has to be second nature, stitching things together. So we should just get past the notion of printing out simple things like I equals 5 and things like that. That is what most cs2a people teach students, is to say you just need to get comfortable sending things to the console. No, you need to get comfortable. That is just the entry door. After you get comfortable sending things to the console, you also need to get comfortable with stitching together things dynamically, right? In the code, stitching things together on the console without having to look at the output, running it and looking at the output. You should be able to stitch it together right there in your cout statement, also stitching together in your mind, in your console in the mind, which is also happening at the same time. So right? So space is missing there and so on. So this is good practice. Now let's hit enter right there, hit enter in the console. You're not getting a console? Are you getting a shell? Can you get anything at all? Can you get a shell? Can you get a command line? Can you get a command line? Interactive console. Click on the interactive console. There's a button. Oh, standard input from interactive. Oh, I see. This is online GDB. What is this thing that gave us a console? We ran a program a couple of weeks ago, in which we had a console with a shell and all on the right. We had
I could try going to coding rooms to like the old one where Keenan
just create a new one. Just create a new one. Yeah, that's fine. Copy and paste the whole thing in here. Just copy and paste the whole thing because we do have a shell here. Just copy and paste the whole thing in here. It says reconnecting. Your internet is like crazy, I think.
No, it's not my internet because Zoom is working fine.
No, you were freezing a few times too.
Oh, really?
Yeah, for me.
Okay.
Do you have to log in? You can take a moment to log in if you want.
Okay.
Unshare and log in and then come back. So what we'll do is we'll do the usual thing, which is going to compile by hand. Ali, just bear with me for one sec, but you can also compile it. The reason I want to compile by hand is to show that I think if we do an automatic compile, it'll just compile into this default name called a.out. I'll show you how you can compile it to any name you want. But I think Coding Room actually lets you compile, because I remember we actually created Zane.cpp. Zane.cpp went to Zane, an executable called Zane. No, we did that by hand, and then Ali wasn't comfortable, so we did the next one by hand. We'll find out. I don't know how Coding Rooms does it. I thought there was a free version in Coding Rooms that you didn't have to log in and you could just use. Isn't there a free version that you only have to log in if you don't want to be an anonymous animal, right? Sean, are
I
you there?
forget what we did for Keenan, but I was able to log in and I didn't have to pay.
No,
Well, I'm
not
creating
have to
a-
pay. I'm saying you didn't have to log in. You can just use it without logging in. Like the anonymous walrus and anonymous penguin. You remember that?
Yeah, I remember, but I was just creating a new workspace, right?
Guys, doesn't matter. All right, so now we're here. Let's just create, increase the size of the console. Just drag it up a little bit. Don't obscure the whole thing. Right now, you can actually do an ls-l. You should see main.cpp. ls-l. Yeah, that's your main.cpp. And a.out is a program that we just compiled. Let's compile it by hand, Ali. It's exactly the same thing as, double click on it. Actually, rename main.cpp to sean.cpp. Now do an ls right there. You'll see that, right? It's also changed. ls again, up arrow and enter. It'll just get it right now. It's got sean.cpp. Just get rid of the a.out also. Get rid of the a.out. rm a.out rm space a.out. You can hit tab. It'll auto. All right. Now if you do an ls, a.out is gone. Up arrow 2 times. Yeah. Right. So this is what we start with. Now let's do what Ali wanted, which is, I think, what is it? I think we run. Run had a drop down or something. We said compile and run. So click on in the UI, click on sean.cpp, and then the 3 dots, the continuation. I think it's run. Where is it? Run. Click the run button. Just still compile it. Right, up arrow a couple of times. Remove a.out. Let's not use a.out. Up arrow in the console. Remove a.out. Hit tab. Right, now we're going to compile by hand and enter. Right, G++. This is what, if you hit that compile and run, this is what is going on in the background. Right, so you can imagine that we're hitting that. -o Sean. -o space Sean. Right, and put a space. Just Sean space. And hit S and hit tab. It'll autocomplete to sean.cpp. Yeah, enter. All right, now if you do an ls space -l, you'll see that there is a green file called Sean, which is an executable file that you can actually run, right? There, and you can run this file by /Sean. It'll run it right now. /Sean. Enter. There you go. That is our usage message. That came from our program. Yes. Now, so that says that's how the program is supposed to be run. We didn't run it like that. So let's run it the way it is supposed to be run. This is the standard Unix idiom, right? Most programmers out there who have some knowledge of Linux and Unix, if you ask them to write a utility program of some kind, this is a standard pattern they're going to follow. Command line arguments and things like that. So this is very useful to know. As a usage, we'll run it, say /Sean space, let's say Harry Potter, one word, Harry Potter. All right, now enter. All right. So this program, it says it had 2 parameters. The first parameter was Sean, and the second parameter, which our name is going to be Harry Potter. All right, now let's go back to our program. I just wanted to show it to you. Right now, let's go back to this program. And then in the same folder, right click and create a folder called Harry Potter right there. Yeah, right click and create a folder called Harry Potter. And in this folder, we're going to create 4 files. and they're going to be called nouns.txt, verbs.txt, adjectives, and adverbs. Now, someone has got to populate these files with interesting words from the Harry Potter universe. Okay, so in fact, what we'll do is create those 4 files. We need to four, and someone should open a tab and search. I think if you go to Google or Bing and type in interesting words, don't search for adjectives and nouns, right? So interesting words from the Harry Potter universe or something like that. You'll get a whole bunch of words. They're interesting words, right? And then let's just pick some interesting words. And in our mind, we know, is that a noun or a verb, and we'll bin them into the corresponding 4. And let's make sure we have like 10 random ones in each one of those. And then we'll go on and make our sentences. Yes or no? Okay, someone do that. And then when we come to filling in these 4 files, anyone who's done the homework can just tell us some interesting words to go in there. Okay, so let's go back to our sean.cpp now. Oh, did you have 4 files? You have to have 4 files. Okay, sean.cpp. And here, now we are going to create our function, read words from file. Go right to the top. And after main, yeah, there in that blank space under namespace standard. There. You say, this is a signature. And you say size underscore t, and I can explain this, right? I was thinking maybe we should use void, but it occurred to me that we should use size t because there's something interesting that could come out of it in terms of instructional value. Size t space. What was the name of that function? I think it was called read words from something, right? Say read underscore and tab. Read underscore and tab. It'll just autocomplete. Read underscore tab. Yeah, and open parentheses. And this is called the signature of a function. Put a comment above that because it's the first time we're talking about functions. And so for students who are following this, they could say, yeah, this is called the first line. The first line of this function is the declaration and also the signature of the function. Declaration. First line below. You can say below. The first line below is called a declaration or signature of our function. And then within the parentheses, we're going to put the parameters, right? And what is the first parameter we had? What was the first parameter? It took 3 parameters, right? It took 3 parameters. What was the first parameter it took? Read words from file. It took 3 things, if I remember. The last one was a vector, file name, directory. Okay, so you say the first parameter was string dir name, string space dir name. Name, dir name, one word, right? Dir. Or you say dir underscore name as you like, comma. And then the next parameter was string file name. Yeah, use the same convention as the previous one. And the last one is going to be our vector, which is going to be an empty box into which we're going to stuff these guys. Yes or no? We're going to read words from here and stuff it in there. So we're going to say in there, vector, string, vector of string, angle bracket, yeah. And then here is a tricky part. It's not going to be clear anytime soon, but it has to be like 100% clear by the end of this week, especially for the midterm and all. It's going to be like super duper important in your life as a programmer. This is called passing by reference. What is the difference between passing by copy, which is the first 2 parameters are passed by copy, and this guy is being passed by reference? What's the difference between the 2? We're not going to go into the detail. There's like hundreds of hours of videos, talking about this on the internet, and we have a corresponding week video from the previous quarters. You can see a discussion of what is passing by parameter, what is passing by value, and what passing by copy and reference, and what is the difference between the 2? Very subtle, incredibly important differences, and we're going to find out. And you can experiment, and we'll put some comments there. So after the angle bracket, the closing angle bracket, put no, right there. Let's say right there. Say ampersand, and say vec. Right? No, not double. Right? We're used to saying double for and. It's one ampersand, and then say don't have a space and just say vec. Right? All right. Let's explain this. Let's explain the signature a bit, right? And so we should change the comment. The first line of the function. Don't say the first line of the function. Don't say below, right? It just says the first line of the function. First line of the function. On the next line, we'll start a comment explaining what the signature is. All right, on the no, in the, right there, above the function itself. Right? Put an enter there, right, and start a comment that says, look up how the three parameters are being passed. What are the nuances, and discuss. Right, this is going to be important to understand, and also forget about the past post. Discuss with each other under the foothill flare. Tools and tips or concepts or building blocks, discuss with each other. Can someone explain what the ampersand does? What happens if you leave it out? Does the program still work if you leave it out? Those are experiments you can try and report and share with your friends and classmates, and it'll be really nice. Okay, so a question mark and a question mark, and then say discuss. Right, so that's going to be an action item for all of us to discuss. Say discuss, and then period right there. Okay. And now let's go on with our function. Line 14 space line at the end of line 14. Put a space and then open a brace, space and a brace at the end of line 14. Is that the way you're doing in the other functions? Okay. Or you want to do the function separately? Cool. Right. So here, what we're going to do is open the file in that directory, read all the lines from it, and stuff it into the vector, and return the number of lines read from the file. That's what this function is going to do. So let's put that. Right. So on the third line, we need one more comment, right? One more comment after line 13. Line 13, right? One more comment right there. This function will read lines from dir name slash file name, and stuff those lines into the vector called vec, and return the number of such lines read. Does that make sense to everybody? That's what we're going to do in this function.
Wait, return what?
The number of lines, such lines read, and return the number of such lines. Okay, is that clear enough to everybody? That's what we're going to do in this function. It's like 3 lines, but that's what this function is. In fact, the comment is bigger than the actual function, right? And so in the function, on line 18, let's just say f stream, and we'll stitch together the file name right there on that line. Say f stream space. We have to also under IO stream hash to I say hash include f stream, because we're using f stream file stream. So under IO stream, say hash include f stream. All right, so and then indent the line 19 in by 4 spaces so that it's part of that's the first parameter space. Yeah, right. And then you say my f stream is going to be an input file stream, so let's call it fin, fin, and then open parentheses. You're going to give it a parameter, and that is going to be the name of the file to look in to read our things, right? So it's going to be dir plus file name. So dir name plus file name. I think it's dir name plus file name. Does everybody understand what that is doing? Before calling that function, it's going to concatenate 2 strings, dir and file name. Oh, so you need to have a slash between the two. So dir name plus, forward slash within quotes, within forward slash within. You know what we have to do? Plus a space, plus space. No, you have to say string. The word string. And then within quotes, the parameter, you have to say open parentheses. And then within quotes, you say forward slash. Within double quotes, you say forward slash. You got to say within double quotes. No, I think it's no, not parentheses. Double quotes. It's a string, right? So double quotes. Shift. I don't know. Yeah, a forward slash. And then close it right there. No. Just don't put it right there.
Wait,
put it right
what?
there. After the forward slash, put the double, close the double quote.
Oh, I see.
Right, space. No, not space. Close the parentheses right there. So you're making a string out of that single character. So you got the directory name, another string which only has the // and then the file name. So in other words, you're manufacturing that file name right there. Is everybody clear on that? Yeah, you'll be doing this a lot of times. A plus and then plus after that, plus. All right, and then put a semicolon right at the end. Is everybody clear on what this is doing?
Sorry,
It is
can you
going-
repeat it again? I'm kind of confused.
All right, let's break this down into 2 steps, okay? On the previous line, get rid of the, what we'll do is on the previous line, right? On line 18, hit enter. You're going to say string space, let's say our underscore file equals, and then just copy that dir name plus string plus the whole thing in there. No, just copy and cut and paste it. Kylie, is that better? Excluding the parentheses, but you can get rid of it there. Get rid of the parentheses and all. Okay, and on the next line, put a semicolon. No, you need a semicolon. Close it. And then on the next line, you say instead of the parameter, just say our file. No. The parameter for fin on line 21. Line 21, you have that thing, that dir name plus string and so on. No, line 20. The parameter you're giving to fin currently, get rid of all of that and just say our file. We're just breaking up what we had there into 2 lines. The whole thing, all the way up to file name. Our underscore file. Yeah. Is that clearer? We broke it up into 2 lines. What we did was, the first thing we did was we got a directory to look for the file, and we got the file itself. But we need to tell the operating system, give me the contents of the file. But we can't give it the 2 things. We got to give it one thing, which is the entire path of the file. So we're stitching together the path. In fact, change that our file variable name to path, right? Change our file to path. Yeah, and also the previous line. So we're constructing the path from the directory and the file name by putting a / in between. Does that make sense?
Yeah, so line 20 is finding like the actual path, right?
No, line 19. Line 19 is
Okay.
finding the path. And line 20, we're saying, give me a file stream. Give me a pipe that is connected to a file that lives in this path.
Okay.
Should we put this in comments for people that aren't listening to
Yeah.
you and me? All right. So just on line 18, open a comment. Blank line. Yeah. Put a comment there. Whatever Kylie says. Say. Yeah. Can you tell them what to put in comments there?
So line 19 is, or line 20 is finding the path, right?
Yeah. So the line 20. Yeah. Line below finds the path. Stitches the path together, or something like that, or finds the path by concatenating dir name / file name. By stitching together, or whatever how do you want to say it? By stitching together dir name and then a / and dir name / file name, dir name comma / file name, and then a blank line after that. No, not a blank line. A blank line after the line 21, and then we'll put a comment before the f stream also. Right before the f stream also, put a blank line on line 21. Put a blank line. And put another comment there, because that's the other thing that Kylie asked, is the line below asked the operating system to give us a pipe that is connected to a file that lives at the end of path. Does that make more sense to people who aren't listening to us?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so it's not going to be 3 lines now because we have comments and all, but you
Is
get
that the end
idea.
of the
It's going to
what?
be very short. Someone had a
And
question?
the file that lives at the end of
Path.
path. Okay.
You can look it up. You can ask in the forums. You can ask me, right? We can discuss this ad nauseum later. We'll just complete it because that's all. We're almost done here. All right. After f stream path on line 23, hit enter. Hit enter. All right. Now what we're going to do is if f in if not FN, right? So put a blank line after that, yeah, before that, so that we're gonna have some logic here, right? If not FN, which means if the operating system, if open parentheses, this is all branching statements, all practice, okay? First time you're typing it, you're gonna type it like Python and things like that, other languages you're used to, but you got to keep on doing this so that you get into C++. So open parentheses, and not is a vertical bar. I know not is also accepted these days, but yeah, use vertical bar. Not vertical bar, exclamation mark, sorry. And people traditionally don't have a space after the, don't have an equals. Don't put a space after that. Just say if not fin. So you read it like if not file in, if not fn. We're just going to say on the very next line, no, that's it. Open, close parentheses. On the next line, you're just going to say return -1. Oh, no, you can't return -1. Return, you got indented in. Right? Return. All right. Here, another piece of is a nugget. Okay, and it's very important. You can say string, double colon, and pause. Okay, semicolon. Now again, mystifying. We're going to put a comment there saying above on line 24. Right? Put an enter on line 24. Yeah, no, and indented in. Yeah. Okay. If file in the below, we say if file if f in is not valid, return a special system variable called string colon and pause. Double colon. Yeah, double colon. Next line. Whose value is equal to the biggest possible unsigned long integer. You can find out, if I Google it and find out the details about string colon and pause, it's got an interesting history, it's got an interesting value. And why do we need this? Why don't we just, right? So there's a lot of interesting questions you can ask, even in the forums, okay? And put a period there and say discuss, right? So these are all discussion points for your forum things. Okay, so far, is everybody okay? Okay, let's go to line 28 and hit enter. No, not there, and end, yeah, okay. Now we're going to read all of the lines from that file into that vector. So all we're going to do is simply say, yeah, go back to the, yeah, there you go. Beginning of the, on one more blank line. Right. Now we're going to say while, and what was the syntax? I think we used it last class. While get line. I think it's open parentheses, and I believe it was f in, comma. Oh, we need a string. All right. So above the while, create a line, our own variable called line or string or something like that, right? String space line. Call it line. And now you're going to pass line in to as a second parameter there. Yeah, close it. Okay. On the next line, you can just say vec.pushback. No, it's got to be underscore between push underscore back. No, vec.push underscore back line. Oh, it's got to be parentheses. No, semicolon at the end. Go to the end. Yeah, enter, and then yeah, and then back to, yeah. Now all we have to do is return the size of the vector. That's the number of lines that we've read in. Yes or no? Just say return vec dot size, open close. That's all. All right. This is, as you can see, it's like 3 or 4 lines. Most of these statements can also be condensed in 1 line and so on. It's a very short program. I want to make sure semicolon right there, clean up the blank lines. That's our function. Yes or no? Everybody happy with this so far? Okay, clean it up. That's it. Okay. So I want everybody to be completely comfortable with what we're doing here. Now let's go back to our main and just wrap it up. That's it. right? Let's go back to our main, and hopefully people have got stuff, things to put in our 4 files, okay? And each of you should have your own. Not so like Sean and I are doing Harry Potter. After you helped us with this Harry Potter thing, when we're doing this, you should create your own. You should maybe create, Twilight or Game of Thrones or Elder Scrolls. Pick your own universe, okay? And get words, interesting words from there. Create these 4 bins, and then say, and I'll show you how to run it, okay? All right, go to the end. Go to the end, uncomment those 4 things that we have, read words, and so on. Yeah, get them all back in our code. Okay, all right, now we're gonna, at the end of that line, yeah, hit enter, and then put a comment saying, now we're gonna make our sentence. To make our sentence, and it's gonna go, okay, this is how it's going to go. But you can change it. You can embellish it later. Okay, this is how it's going to go. Which is going to go like. Okay, on the next line, you're going to say the adjective uppercase space noun. The adjective space noun. Verb, right? And also, by the way, when you pick these verbs, make sure they're all past tense verbs, okay? None of them should be present tense or something, okay? So verb, as a ed, right? Verbed, right? Because in English you can do this, right? So verb, okay, verb. In fact, before the adverb, verb, not just verb, right? The adjective noun, adverb, verb. No, that's fine. Adjective noun, the adjective noun, space, adverb, verb, space, an adjective noun. So what we're going to do is going to pick a random adjective, a random noun, another and a random adverb, and a random verb, another adjective, another noun, and we're going to stitch them all together. Yes? Okay, great. Okay, let's go. So now what we're going to do is pick our first adjective, and on the next line we're going to say string adj1, right? Say string adj1 equals, no, just say adj, what you had before was good, underscore 1 maybe, right? Yes, yeah, underscore 1 equals, now equals, we're gonna pick a random word from, we have adjectives, all right, so we want to pick a random adjective. So what we're going to do is going to say adjectives. So square bracket adjectives is going to be a complex expression, and we can break it down into 2 lines or 3 lines if you want, okay? And you have to let me know. No, you have to say adjectives. No, you got a square bracket and all. Get rid of the square brackets. The square bracket should go on the other side, right? Yeah, at the end of adjectives. And then open. All right. Now, what we want to do is pick a random adjective. Yes or no? And so the way we're going to do it is basically say rand inside the square brackets. Open, close. Open parentheses, close parentheses. You can also ask me, Sean, right? Whenever you're stuck, you just ask me, hey, what should I type? So space, percent, space, adjectives dot size, right? Adjectives dot size. You got a spelling error, but you can fix it. Yeah. Adjectives. No, adjectives. Yeah. All right. Open, close. That's it. Right. And then semicolon right there. Enter. You got to copy this line and pick one more adjective. We need 2 adjectives. We need 2 nouns. So copy the triple click and copy it one more time. Triple click on the line and 2 control V's. 2 control V's now. One more. All right. Now change the, yeah, you can change, that should be adjective 2. And then likewise, we need 2 nouns. And then we need an adverb, and then we need 1 verb. Yeah, I think. No, we only have one adverb. We're not using, we only have one verb, right? So we only have one adverb. I think that's it. So now we can, on the next line, we're going to say, oh, you got to change those guys. Yeah. Change the arrays. Yeah. I think it's nouns. I think you're missing a plural somewhere. But one of them, the vector should be nouns, not noun. Yeah. No, I think it's adverbs. Did you, what do you call it? Adverbs, yeah. Is everybody together, right? I want to make sure that everybody's on the same page.
Don't we need
Can
a
you all
verb
already
before?
visualize what's going to happen now? Because when we run it, we're going to get, interesting sentences. You should be able to think already. Most of you will know what's going to happen here, right? If not, that's okay. You'll see very soon. We don't need one more. Oh, we have a verb. Yeah, I completely forgot about a verb. All right. Okay, now let's stitch together our sentence. All right. Now let's go on to the next line and say, in fact, let's do something interesting here, okay? So we're going to say, we're going to pick between the and, two possible ways to start a sentence. We can you start a sentence with either the or an, okay? So what we're going to do is string word1 equals string or string w1 equals, or whatever you want to call it, okay? Equals. Right now, we're going to open parentheses and have a condition. This is all ternary statements practice for you. If you don't want to do it, you can do it the easy way too. That's fine. Okay. So here you're going to say rand open parentheses rand and then do that thing. You want to see if it's odd or even, right? So %2 equals 0 question mark. No, not there. Rand returns. Yeah. And then after the closing parentheses, you say space percent space 2 equals double equals 0 question mark. And then yeah, within the parentheses, let's do the whole thing within parentheses. The whole expression needs to be together, right? Within parentheses, say within capital T H E, okay, capital T little h e, the, right? As a string. 50% of the times we're going to start the sentence with the. The other 50% of the times we're going to start the sentence with the word an, okay? And then after the closing quote, say colon. This is called the ternary statement. It's very important. It's going to be on the midterm. Ternary statements. No, you got the closing parentheses before the thing, right? So get rid of the colon. We need a space, right? Space colon, and then the other thing is going to be an within quotes, and uppercase a. That's going to be your beginning, the first word of our sentence. Okay, right. Close. Semicolon. You got to close the. You got to start with the parentheses, so you got it. Semicolon. All right, that's our first word. The. Now we got adjective 1, noun 1, and then what is the sentence? What does the sentence look like? Where is our sentence? Sample sentence. We had a sample sentence. Oh, the adjective, noun, adverb, verb, an. Okay, so we got an and. We'll just use an and there. Okay. All right. So string sentence equals okay, w1 space plus adjective 1. No, you need a space. You need a string. You got a space within quotes. I don't know if this is going to work with a space within quotes. We're going to try it, okay? Because the reason I'm saying that is because it's a naked string like that within quotes is interpreted as a pointer. And you're adding a string to a pointer, hopefully it works. Okay, so the plus operator knows the string is a pointer that should be converted to a string. So we'll find out. Right, let's put a space there. All right, so and then plus adjective 1. No, after the end, right? Yeah, plus adjective. It sticks the sentence together, right? I think adj1. You call it adj1. You call it adj1. Is everybody okay so far? Right, and then another space after that, and then do the noun 1. Oh, you need a plus. You forgot a plus. You put a plus, and then is everybody okay? You can do this too. I do the whole sentence like that. Yeah. Plus space. Maybe you should just do a copy paste or something like. Okay. Adverb. Yeah. Plus space. No, just adverb. No, not adverbs. Adverb. Space.
You named this string, I think, the
Oh
same
no.
name as the
Yeah. Oh yeah.
string
You should call it
in
adverb.
16.
It's one word, not plural. Yeah. Sorry. In fact, we couldn't have called it because we already have a yeah. Verb plus again. That's all. Okay. Now we're going to print it out. We got time. Okay. I'm sorry I ate into your time, but hopefully we're still going to do it on Thursday. We're going to do exactly. We'll take this program hopefully, right? But we won't have to talk through the whole thing now. Even if we had to craft it from scratch, someone could take over and we type the whole thing down in 10 minutes. And then, but this is what we're going to do on Thursday. We'll run it today. We have time to run it. Unfortunately, we didn't have a chance to run each of your programs, but we'll run at least one today, at least Harry Potter. Okay, have you done it, Sean? No, not W1. It's a plus adjective 2 and noun 2. Plus adjective 2. Plus space plus noun 2, and then end all after that. Oh, you don't need end all. Plus, that's semicolon right there. On the next line, you can say see out the sentence. On the next line, you can say see out the sentence. See out sentence. No, you got it. No, see out left shift sentence, end all. Okay, all right. Now, one more thing, okay? Clean up the blank lines under that and just have return after that. That's it. Return. I want to do one more thing to the place where you have a blank line before the return. It's neater. All right, go to the place where you have read words from file on top. Where do you print the error message in return? Where did you print the error message in return? Couldn't open the file. Somewhere you couldn't open the file. No, in the function. In your up, more. I think it's on line 20 maybe. There you go. Stop. All right, there you go. If not f in, right? Now, instead of having just a return there, we're going to put one more thing here, okay? So after if not f in, open a curly brace. It's not just going to be one line. We're going to do 2 lines there, okay? Curly brace. All right. Enter. All right. I'm going to say CERR, and then left shift. Right? And then within quotes, you're going to say could not open space, and then left shift the name of the file you were given. That's a path, right? Left shift path, and then end all. Or you can say for reading, because you're not trying to write it, right? So you can actually give more information to the user for reading space. No, I have before the end all, just before the end all, say for reading, a space for reading. You got when you run it in your mind, you have a space there, and then you put an end all there. Yeah, and put a period after reading. Now you can exit, right? Now you can return string pause, and then after the string pause, you can say close, and then put an enter there. No, that's fine. Enter, blank line, blank. Good. Is this clearer? If you couldn't open the file, rather than die silently, you're going to say, this is why I'm going to exit with a non-zero status. I couldn't open the file. Is everybody clear so far? This is what professionals do all the time. And that's why I want, because, in school grade stuff, most people don't get to do this. Because typically in a school, we're not concerned with teaching you how to do robust programming like this. We want you to know the kind of concepts and then let you loose in the wildies to figure it out on your own. We say, all right, now you know how to use for and if and so on, and go on and figure it out, because that's all we need for the exam. But if you go out there, you're going to get slaughtered. Because if you write a program that doesn't know how to handle simple conditions like this, nobody's going to hire you. Yes or no? So it's better to, anytime we write, even if it's a toy program, just do it the real way. Or do it as though you're doing it for, for a client. And then it's not because it's a principle or anything. You just want to get inured to that and say, that's just a part of life. I want to get, put it in my autopilot. I can do it like 100 times, put it on my autopilot. I'm not doing it for 100 times to learn it. Really, I'm doing it 100 times just because I want to get it out of the way. Right. And there are lots of people who say, oh man, it's really hard stuff. I'm not even going to go there, so they're just trying to stay away from it. But that's not the right way to solve any problem in life. If you have a problem in life and say, it's bad, I'm not going to do it. That's not the way to solve a problem. Right. So you say, this way you're saying, well, it's bad, but, and there's going to be lots and lots of bad stuff like that. And so if I'm just going to sidestep, I got to be sidestepping all my life. And the sidestepping is a painful process. There's compromises and, crazy things that need to happen, right? So I'm not going to sidestep anymore. I'm just going to say, face it head on and say, I just get used to it. So that now from now on, I don't have to let my conscious human mind engage with that problem and lose its, blissful state. I'll just say, I'll just be happy, but let my autopilot deal with it. Yes. That's essentially what we're doing. So when we say as an instructor, hopefully other instructors are also telling you, when they force you to do painful stuff in programs, and not only stick to the concepts that are being taught by the state. The reason for that is not that, you should just pass this course. They're saying that because you should not only pass this course, but you should be able to use this in real life and not be scared away. And so there's a lot of things that you need to know that you need to develop some kind of an armor. And so let me make sure that you're exposed to all these pain points right now so that you do it repeatedly. And then when you go out there, you're not going to be thinking about this. You're not going to be out there writing that guarded statement. Like if, check the file for the first time in your life when you work for some company. Do it right now, hundreds of times, so that when you go and interview and on the coding on the whiteboard, subconsciously, right? When you're doing a complex algorithm, before you get to the algorithm, you're going to basically subconsciously do all the corner cases and then get here. Yes. That is what interviewers are looking for. So the interviewers, when they say, well, you didn't account for a bunch of corner cases, right? Your algorithm will fail. That's why you didn't get a job. And I've seen interviewers, students, not students, the people in technical interviews say, well, I got the algorithm right, but I still didn't get the job. Or, it was right, man. Why didn't you get the job? And you see Glassdoor and so on. There's lots of people say, I got it right. Every solution was right. And still, the feedback from the interview was, no, I didn't get the job. We're not moving forward with your application. Why? Right? Because the interviewer is looking for, and sometimes you can actually, if you have a friend, they'll tell you, right? They'll tell you, your algorithm was right, but you missed all the corner cases. Why is it important? So you could pass, with flying colors all the way through grad school and know every single algorithm in the book. But still you can't get a job. And why? Even though you know the algorithms. And the reason is because the interviewer is not looking for specific knowledge, which can be looked up in a book, but looking for whether you have enough practice to not be burdened with painful decisions in the job that they're going to pay you money for. Because this is all knowledge that you have to pick up before you start working out there. And if I'm going to hire you, well, I'm going to find someone who's already learned that rather than learn that on my dime. Yes. So when someone interviews you, unless they have a lot of money, right? A company that's been around and they're willing to suffer the overhead of letting you learn these things, or you have some redeeming feature that says, let them learn these hard things on our paycheck, then that's fine. But many startups or other companies that are working on venture capitalists or other people's money, they don't have the luxury to do that. When they hire a programmer, they want to make sure that you have already been doing that. And the one way to find out is not by your knowledge of algorithms. I can tell you that, right? I've interviewed people that are, bulletproof algorithms on the whiteboard. They can know the ins and outs, even mathematical proofs. They can do it, right? But the problem is, I would have to spend a lot of time using money that was given to me by hard-earned money from other people to educate that person without any guarantee that that person will stick with the company after that. Yes. Especially if the company didn't have enough money to keep them happy after a certain stage, because many companies hire programmers as resources, not because they want to, but that's all they can afford, right? So they know, and there's an implicit understanding that you're not going to rise all the way to the CEO or VP level. You're going to be a resource. We'll try and keep you happy up to that. So which means that we cannot reach you. We don't have the luxury, like a big company that's been around for decades, and they don't have the luxury of a research lab where we can help you learn these things. And that's why you need to get through all of these things many, many times so that it's automatic, and they don't even have to, and when you do this in an interview, even if you get the algorithm wrong, right? Sometimes these people get jobs because they know that person has been in the field long enough to know what are the most most likely conditions that can, sink our company. That's really what they're looking for. They want to hire someone who's not going to do some silly ass mistake that is going to cost the company a lot of money. So when you do these things, they know. And that is what they're looking for. And another secret of the trade that, do these lots and lots of times. So this is automatic, so that you can get this done in the first 2 minutes of an interview. And then the interviewer and you are comfortable enough saying, okay, now you can look at the real detail. And so here it is. So we've done all of it. And now let's go to the file. Just populate that with, for now, we're just going to call it, unless someone has words already, can call out and just fill in these words. Everything is ready. It's ready to go, right? We're confident enough. Hey, someone's got, cool. All right.
Yeah,
What about adverbs?
this is the one I did.
Someone else did, or Sean?
No, I did it. Yeah.
Hey, Sean, thank you, man. What about adverbs? You got adverbs?
Yeah, I've got adverbs. This is from like Super Mario Bros.
Yeah. All right. Cool. All right. Let's run it. I'm so glad. What time is it now? Wait. Yeah, we got time. We got 2 minutes. Yeah. All right, Kylie, you got 2 more minutes before you got to disappear. Okay. So let's run it. Oh, we didn't ignore the comments. We got to ignore the comments. Go back to your read file. Read the function. All right. Function read words from file. In your loop, it's not just one word, one line anymore. We need braces. We need 2 lines. Okay. We need 2 lines in the loop. No, in the function, in the function itself. Up. Yeah. So there you go. Line 33. End of line 33. Hit as end of line 33. Space brace. Enter. Right. Inside. No, you got a brace. You got to put a brace there. Inside the function. You say if line if open parentheses. If line dot length greater than 0. Line dot length. Or you should say if line dot length equals 0, line dot length GTH, open close equals and then open close space double equals 0, or 2 vertical bars, yeah, or line square bracket 0, and then space equals double equals. And then within single quotes, say forward slash. In fact, we'll do something better. Put an exclamation mark there. Let's not do it forward. Let's not do C style. Okay, just put an exclamation mark. Okay, and then on the next line, just say continue. That's got to be indented. It's part of the if statement. So the continue belongs to the if, right? Indented in. And then semicolon after that. And then after the vector pushback line, enter, and then close the brace. That's it. Okay. So now go back to that file. I saw a comment with 2 forward slashes. I think an adverb. Yeah, change that 2 forward slashes to an exclamation mark. That's a comment, right? Exclamation mark. And then space, and then say this line is a comment or something like that. Space this or whatever. Okay, cool. Do you have slashes anywhere else? Are all files ready to go? Yes. Ma'am.
Welcome to Riddle Rooms. Let me work with
Hey,
you
Google,
tomorrow.
stop.
Just let me know if you ever want to answer.
Hey,
some
Google,
riddles.
stop. Thank you. All right, so just go and run it. It should run. Oh, yeah, you got to announce. Before announce, you got the 2 forward slashes. Change that to... Everything okay? Oh, you don't have any verbs. I thought it was empty. No, that also. Change it to a forward slash. The exclamation mark. I thought you had verbs. You don't have any verbs? Yeah, but change that to a forward slash too. No. What's going on? It's just disappearing. Yeah, change. Is it just me? Your file just became empty all of a sudden.
No, this is like a separate workspace that I'm copying and pasting from.
Oh, is it? I didn't
Yeah.
even realize. I didn't realize it's switching tabs. All right, just run it.
Yeah.
Just run it.
Okay.
You got all exclamation marks now instead of forward slashes?
Yeah.
Okay, now go to your command line. Don't run it from the UI because we need, just run from the command line. Up arrow, you got to compile it, right? You got up arrow, and then, yeah, thank you. I was just thinking that and you did it, right? Up arrow until you get the G++ line.
Oh, no, it's...
Oh, it isn't.
like,
All right,
it's
so it says G++.
cleared.
dash O Sean space Sean.cpp. S tab. Okay. Enter. All right, now it's there. Now, if you just run Sean, it should tell you usage and so on, right? Just say Sean. No, dot slash. I think it needs path. Dot slash Sean. Says usage, right? Now let's say Sean space H tab, right? So Sean space H tab. No, H, and then hit the tab key. It'll autocomplete Harry Potter for you. Now get rid of the slash. I don't think we need the slash, but it may work with the slash. Hit enter. Well, let's see if we get a sentence. No, it's dot slash Sean. Up arrow dot slash. Yeah. All right. Up arrow. All right, Harry, H tab. I get rid of the, enter. Let's hope it works. Could not open nouns.txt. Why does it say couldn't open these files? Why did it say it couldn't open these files? So there's an error here.
Called it
no.
nouns, but it's called noun. It's
Oh,
noun.
Oh, all right.
There's
In
that.
any case, why did it have a floating point exception? So that's something. We just rename the file, by the way. Rename the file and run it. Also adverb. All of them. Make them plurals, plural names. Run it again. In any case, it shouldn't have core dump with a floating point exception. That I think I should leave as an exercise for you. It should take no more than 2 minutes, 5 minutes. Oh, let's say for you guys 10 minutes because it's cs2a, right? 10 minutes for you guys to find out why that is happening. It is going to be a thoroughly worthwhile exercise, and I guarantee that if you get to the bottom of that error, you will nail down 5 points in the midterm. Okay, so just nail down the cause of the error and how to avoid that, and maybe even discuss this in the forums. So why is this error happening? How can we avoid this error? So oh wow, it worked.
yeah, it worked.
All right, one more time. Up arrow, enter. Up arrow, enter. You get the same thing, yes?
Yeah, my verbs weren't plural. I mean, in the past tense though.
Oh, you can change it, but you get the idea,
Yeah.
right? Everybody gets the idea.
Yeah.
Now let's go back to your program and comment out. Get rid of the comment before the srand line. Hey, Kylie, your class is started, right? But
It
you
starts
can-
at 10.
Okay, all right. So, but you can watch the video too, right? Now, uncomment the srand line and run it again. You'll get different sentences each time you run it.
Okay. Where's the
In main, the first line of main.
Oh, there it is.
There it is. Okay. Now, if you run it now, every time you run it, you'll get a different sentence.
Professor,
I see, all
I
right.
also have a class at 10.
Yeah, sure. That's fine. But you can watch the video, and you guys can also. You should do your own. Different universe. Please share your program, maybe on GitHub or even the source code if you want. But share your sentence and your pack, right? You share your package and a pack so that other people can run this program with your pack, right? So this is Sean's pack, which produces Mario-like sentences. Actually, it shouldn't be. Rename Harry Potter to Mario, right? So right there, just say rename, right? So I say MV in your. All right, just go ahead and do that. Right, rename to Mario. Now you can do it like that, because this is not Ali. Yeah, just rename that to Mario. Now, and also go to your program and get rid of the program was invoked with, that was stuff that we just stuck in there for our benefit. But you can get rid of that. The program was, no, I saw that. There you go.
Where?
There. Line 50.
150.
Yeah,
Okay.
triple click and delete that line and recompile it. Yeah, and then go back to that thing and get up arrow G+, hit enter, and everything is ready to go. So in your console, save it, up arrow G+ a few times, up arrow a few times until you get G+. Oh, you can just do G. Yeah, it's just a one line. Right, enter. Now, if you run Sean space Mario, it should give you a Mario sentence. Hit Control L, go to the top.
Hit Control L.
Control L.
Control L.
All right. So Sean space dot slash Sean dot. I think you need dot slash Sean space Mario. Right now, it'll give you a Mario sentence, a proper Mario sentence. I think it'll also work with the /. Put the, it done. You go up again and put the / at the end of Mario. It'll still work, right? Dot slash Sean space Mario. Yeah, enter. Oh, I see. So, all right. So here's another exercise for you. Extra credit if you can do this. Okay. You see how the adjective is wrong? Sometimes you get an, but the adjective starts with L. So if the adjective starts with L, you shouldn't get an, you should get a. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So now, if you have time, change this program. Not everybody. There's some of you, right? You can say, well, you know what? I'm not going to say and at all. It's always going to be the, right? 50% of the time you're selecting and. Say I'm always going to select the. But the other guy, the other kind of way to do this is to say, well, you know what? To get the first word, I'm going to look at the adjective. And then I'm going to look at the adjective. And if the adjective starts with the first letter of the adjective, which has to be passed in by parameter, right? Passed in as a parameter. If the first letter is a vowel, I'm going to choose an, right? If the first or something like that, right? If it's a noun, I'm going to choose a or the or something like. So you can do all these fancy things, juggle and play with it, and inject variations of your own. Maybe even have more parts of speech. Maybe someone said conjunctions last time, right? And so on. So you can insert. Now you have the general idea, right? How to stitch a sentence together. Yes. Yes or no? Everybody knows.
Why isn't it repeating?
No, if you run again. Up arrow, enter. Each time you should get a different one. Enter. Many times.
Oh.
Yeah, each time you get a different one. Yes.
Okay.
But you got to fix it. You got to fix it so that an and the and a, they look at the following word and then choose the correct variation. Yes.
Wait, it says and every single time.
Oh, you got to figure it. It's a very simple bug. Okay.
Okay.
No, I don't think so. It should say the also, right?
Oh wait, yeah, you're right. Yeah.
So it should switch between and the. The will be okay, right? The spiky Luigi speedily defeated Spiky's torment. Okay, all right. So those are all pretty cool. But you can inject more richness into all of these things. But you know how it's done. So now you can actually write a chatbot, right? So you write a chatbot on Reddit or anywhere, right? You can write a chatbot and say, I'm going to just manufacture sentences out of thin air and respond to random posts on Facebook, right? Using these sentences. So that's all cool stuff. So you're already armed with something interesting you can do on the internet. Was that useful, interesting, right? And we haven't started talking about C++ yet, but hopefully by now you are comfortable enough with parameters, loops, passing by value, passing by reference. If not, you still have until the midterm, right? Until the end of next week, but don't put it off. Practice with this, discuss in the forums. Don't look at past Reddit posts. Just imagine that your current classmates and me and your tutors, they're the only ones who populate your universe. Okay, so do that and have a great time. And I hope this class was useful. Did we actually learn something useful today? Yes or no? Yeah. All right. So
Yeah.
I hope you guys will come back on Thursday. We'll take this to the next level. Maybe we'll talk more about functions, passing by value and parameter and things like that. In the meantime, I would like it very much if you guys take this to the next level, play with each other, share packs, share interesting sentences that you managed to generate. So many interesting things there. And I will look forward to seeing your smiling faces again in 2 days from now. Okay. All right. Thank you all so much for your
Awesome.
patience.
Thanks,
for sticking
Professor.
around.
Thank you.
No worries at all. I'll see you guys in a couple of days. All right. Bye.
Thanks.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you,
Bye.
Sean. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you, Professor.
No
Bye.
worries, Ron. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Thank you.
All right. Okay.